Hello and welcome. You're watching ET Now. This is of course your GST headquarter and I am Ruchi Bhatia. Over the next 30 minutes, our reporters will get you ground reports on this special show. Remember, India is bracing with all the changes post the new goods and services tax that has come. And now we at ET Now, as usual, are at the forefront of the GST coverage. Our team has travelled extensively across the country to get you the impact of the new goods and services tax on you. And we have Anubhuti Gaur and Tushar Chakrabarti from New Delhi, Rahul Dayama joining in from Bengaluru, Adrija Chatterjee from Kolkata, Paul from Hyderabad, and Vijay Christados from Chennai, Deepshika Ghosh from Mumbai, and Vishal Monga from Chandigarh. All our reporters from ground zero to get you how GST is going to impact your life. Let's first go across to Tushar. Tushar, apart from the usual list of goods and services tax, which are of course under the ambit of GST, perks and gifts given to employees from employers and companies will also be attracting GST and taxation under GST, and free services outside the employment contract and gifts above 50,000 will be taxed. What are you picking up and how are companies responding to this?
As the effect of the goods and services tax continues to unravel on different sectors of the economy, another area which will now be under the ambit of the GST is the perks and the gifts that several companies and corporates hand out to their employees each year. According to the GST, any perk that is over and above the employment contract of an employee and any gift that is above rupees 50,000 in value will be taxed under the goods and services tax. Experts feel that the range of the taxation can be between 18% to 43%. However, the government says that the companies can claim input tax credit on such gifts and perks that they give to their employees. Of course, any services that an employee renders for his company that is not mentioned in his employment contract will also be liable to be taxed under the goods and services tax. However, there are certain doubts as to how to tax gifts and rewards. As we know that several companies often hand out performance-based rewards to motivate and incentivize their employees, and the incidence on that is the income tax. So some bit of clarity between gifts and rewards is required. In order to find a way out of the higher taxation that the companies may have to shell out due to the GST, due to this new provision under the GST, the companies may look to add more and more of these perks in the employment contract of the employees itself, so that the incident of the taxation is actually under the income tax and not under the GST.
Clearly, that's not good news coming in for a lot of employees, because now your perks would be a part of your CTC. But let's shift focus, talk about another industry that's grappling with the GST impact. The precious diamonds are set to get dearer. Anubhuti Gaur gets us the ground report on the impact of the new tax regime on precious stones.
Well, if you are fond of diamond jewelry and you're already planning for the festive season, then be ready to shell out more on the diamonds. As we can see here, I am at the PC Jewellers. So we spoke to the manager here and we pick up that the rates on diamonds are set to rise. As remember, under GST, 3% tax slab has been imposed on diamonds. So we have a set of rings here. So if we see this particular ring, and if before GST you had to shell out 26,800 on this ring, then post GST you will have to shell out 27,400. And we see this other ring here. So if before GST this ring costed you 71,600, then post GST it will cost you 73,400. So we spoke to the manager and we pick up that they already see an impact because of the GST. Sales have dampened and the impact will be clear after the festive season, as customers are more skeptical about shopping at this point of time, as they're wondering whether they should come right now or they should wait for the festive season. Also, they are also worried about the 0.25% extra tax that has been imposed on the rough cut diamonds. So for the customers, they will have to shell out more and further impact will be clear after 3-4 months.
clearly looks like diamonds are losing their sheen, and if you want to buy diamonds now, that means you will have to pay more. But now over to Bengaluru, where Rahul Dayama is telling us about the impact of GST on Ayurveda sector. Rahul, that's an interesting space with popularity of traditional medicine system again increasing. Do we need to pay more or less for them now?
I'm here at Ayur Central. This really is the dispatch center from which medicines are sent out to various retail stores across the city. The big takeaway is, and I've been talking to a lot of these dealers, they tell me that 12% of GST rate on Ayurvedic medicines is a big setback for them, because what was really in the charged at 5 to 6% of VAT is now 12%. But has it really will result in increase of prices? Well, it hasn't really happened right now, but going ahead, they're telling us that retail stores and chains will be forced to pass on the increase of about 10% to consumers. So going ahead, the bills of your Ayurvedic medicines could go up. As far as FMGC products and beauty products are concerned, be it your shampoos, face wash, all of this was really gaining popularity. That has come under the highest tax bracket of 28%, and some of them in 18%. So those products prices are also likely to go up. I've been talking to a lot of these retail chains who tell me that there is sort of a blackout phase for these medicines because they hadn't stocked up enough, and stores that have stocked up enough medicines are now being forced to pay 12% of tax. You even had a poster boy of Ayurveda, Baba Ramdev, asked the government to look at the rates again, at least generic drugs of Ayurveda be in the 0% category, while the patented one at 5%. But clearly, if you are someone who follows Ayurveda closely, takes those medicines, the prices will go up for you in the coming weeks.
So no stocks, no Ayurveda medicine stocks there, and of course prices are also set to go up higher. That's the word coming in from Bengaluru, especially on Ayurveda medicines. But let's shift focus, move back to North India in Chandigarh, where Vishal Monga gets us the ground report on the sale of electronics under the new GST regime. What about the customers? Have you seen a rise or a decline in footfall?
Week has passed, but still there is a lot of confusion in the ground. Now, we've been talking to several traders, various sectors. They are saying the clarification from the top, neither from the industry side nor from the income tax department side, have come. We are right now in an electronics showroom. The prices have been reduced, but there is no clarity from the company part of view. We'll talk to the owner and try to understand what are the problems you're facing. Just tell us, what are the problems people are facing on the ground?
See, we've been having clients over to our store asking for the price, for the impact of the GST, what are the pricing, I mean, various other aspects of the GST. But we, as of now, are very unclear as to what we have to offer to the consumers. Because as of now, even we are very unclear what Panasonic or other brands, what we're dealing in, have to offer us in terms of the pricing, how GST would be implemented. So the basic thing I would say is it's very unclear as to how we can move on from here.
What about the clientage? Are the customers coming, or the customers have decreased?
Well, obviously the customers have decreased, because even customers are quite unsure what to expect from the store, you know, because everyone is quite unsure as to whether the prices will drop or would increase. So I think it has seen a sharp decline in the footfall.
So you heard the owner of the store categorically saying that the customers are coming in less in number because there is no clarity on the issue. Now, this is not related to electronic segment also. Punjab has a lot of bicycle industry. The taxes have not been clarified. And now we were talking to several traders. They say that 1 week has passed almost, and still they are unclear, and they are facing a lot of problems.
Are in focus, and IDFC Bank and IDFC Limited, that's the IDFC Group on the listed stocks, along with Shriram Group, is likely to merge together.
Startups have informally evinced an interest and made it quite clear to this government that if Air India is privatized, they will certainly be one of the contenders and one of the buyers that they should be taken seriously.
Indeed, a non-binding term sheet has been signed between Flipkart and Snapdeal. And if you have a sweet tooth, then you might have to pay more under GST, as sweet shops around Kolkata are finding it difficult to tackle with the price hikes under the new tax regime. Bengal's favorite Rasgulla will now attract 5% tax rate, and for a helping of your favorite Mishti Doi, you will have to cater a 12% tax. Adrija Chatterjee with that report.
To satisfy your sweet tooth under the new tax regime, the goods and services tax, you might have to shell out more, because sweet shop owners are complaining that they fall under different tax slabs even for the same sweet in question. If we talk about the most popular Rasgulla in Calcutta, even though it attracts a 5% tax rate, if you add dry fruits or kesar to it, the tax rate under the price can go up to at least 18%. Apart from that, popular snacks like the samosa attracts a 12% tax rate. Even your most favorite Mishti Doi now attracts a 12% tax rate under GST. The sweet shop owners are confused because they claim they seem to fall under almost all tax slabs under GST. When you're going to buy a Sandesh which will have a chocolate covering, that will attract a 28% tax rate under GST. Sweet shop owners claim that they need simplification and rationalization of GST rates if they have to tackle with the price hike that GST has brought in. It's definitely something that Finance Minister Arun Jaitley need to hear out, because when it comes to Bengal, tackling your sweet tooth with a price hike might be a difficult option.
All right, that's no sweet news coming in for the sweet shop owners in Kolkata. But moving on to Hyderabad, Paul Oman caught up with Sunil Linga, the owner of Furniture World, to get an idea about how the furniture makers are reeling under the 28% GST tax rate and if the footfalls have reduced drastically. Let's listen in.
Well, I'm presently at Furniture World, which is one of Hyderabad's most popular furniture places. And ever since the GST rollout has happened, from 14.5%, the GST, the tax has increased, the slab has increased to 28%. And I'm in conversation with Mr. Sunil Linga, the owner of Furniture World. Thank you, sir, for talking to us.
My pleasure.
Sir, the GST slabs have increased. And can you tell us the direct consequence of this, about the number of people who are visiting your store and about the demand for furniture in general as such?
See, most of the time what exactly happens is it's unorganized market. Almost 95% is unorganized market, and it's only like, I mean to say, in case if you take all lot of a thing, 28% for a common man is too big. I mean to say, a guy who wants to buy a bed for 10,000 rupees, you add on another 28%, which is 2,800 rupees, is a big burden for people. I mean to say, this impact will be too huge, and the footfalls that we could see in our stores also drastically reduced from 1st of this month. They say only 30% walk-ins are coming in, and everybody says 28%, they can't pay 28%, and 28% is too big, and it has to be something like 12 to 18% would be a reasonable figure to really come up with a solution.
And you also face a stiff competition from importing of furniture, imports that come in from China, Malaysia and other markets. Can you talk about competition now that the slabs have gone up?
Yeah, sure. The thing is, now there is no difference, and I mean to say, like, Make in India concept is gone completely, because either you import at 28% or you pay Make in India 28%, so there is no difference.
That was the owner telling us that he's seen a reduce in the footfall at the furniture outlets in Hyderabad, and it would have been ideal for them to actually lower the tax slabs so that they would have encouraged more people to buy furniture, especially those made in India.
That IDFC Group and Shriram Group, both of these group are in talks for a merger. The talks are at advanced stages.
Pankaj Poddar joins us with exclusive details on IDFC and IDFC Bank, stocks which have been very active in trade. What is the backdrop here?
All the four entities are in focus, and IDFC Bank and IDFC Limited, that's the IDFC Group on the listed stocks, along with Shriram Group, is likely to merge together.
big relief for cinema goers in Tamil Nadu. The theatre owners have called off their 4-day strike. Vijay Christados gets us this report.
Theatre associations might have called off a strike and it would have been a huge relief for the movie fan. But here's something they're not telling you. The burden of GST clearly being passed on the fan and the quintessential movie buff. Let me take you through how. Right now we are on an online booking site to book tickets for a movie. Let's choose just one movie over here. And this clearly shows you the summary of the ticket price. 213 rupees for one ticket. Let's exclude the amount that we are paying for the booking and the amount for the 3D glasses, considering it's a 3D movie. Now what's shocking is this base price over here, 153 rupees 60 paise. How have the movie theatres reached to this price? It's really shocking. The Tamil Nadu rules clearly say that 120 rupees is the cap. No movie tickets can be expensive than 120 rupees. So it is 120 plus 28% GST, that is 33.6 rupees, adding to the 120 rupees, which comes to this base price of 153.60. So all this while the theatre associations have been protesting, have been a series of meetings with Tamil Nadu government officials. And what we've been saying all throughout has finally come true. The burden of GST clearly falling on the people of Tamil Nadu, on the common man, ending up paying more for a movie. It may have come as a huge relief, but once again theatre owners trying to mask the people of Tamil Nadu and ensure that they also get their pound of flesh.
All right, the GST burden there in Chennai will be passed on to the movie buffs. But let's also go across to our next ground report from Mumbai, where ET Now's Deepshikha Ghosh caught up with Jitendra Parekh, the Secretary General of Bombay Goods Transport Association, to get a sense of how life has changed post-GST.
Tell us, is it absolutely mandatory for traders to furnish transporters with the GSTN number before any procedures start?
Yeah, definitely. It is mandatory for the service users, either they are concerned or consignee. They have to provide us GSTN number. That is mandatory as per the law.
Why is it so important then to have a GSTN number? Is it for tax planning purposes?
Yeah, definitely. From that GSTN number only, government can keep the track of the movement through road transport. So that's why it's mandatory. So if anybody they want to evade the tax, so they cannot. So for that, government has keep that mandatory to take the GSTN number, and we have to keep all the records with us. Anytime if they want, they can come and check with us.
All right. So that's the aspect of accountability. Let us talk about transit time. Has transit time, or do you think transit time will significantly reduce in the future with the implementation of goods and service tax?
Yeah, definitely. Because after implementing goods and service tax, transit time will, as you see in Mumbai, there were octroi. Now after GST, they have removed octroi. So mainly any vehicle was coming to Mumbai, it was taking around 3 to 4 hours extra just for the complete the procedures of octroi and all these things. Now that will definitely reduce, and government is also planning to stop and cut down all the checkposts throughout the India.
All right, those were our ground reports, our team of reporters there, right from Tushar, Anubhuti, Vijay, Deepshikha, and of course Paul, Vishal Monga, Rahul Dayama. Everybody out there getting you ground reports on how things are going to change with the goods and services tax. Let's slip into a short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching ET Now. Amidst a growing hostility between India and China, Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping met on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Hamburg in Germany. The two world leaders came face to face at the BRICS leaders meeting, where Modi offered full support for holding the summit of the five-nation bloc in China later this year. The development comes in a day after China ruled out a meeting with Modi and Jinping over the border issues in Sikkim.
Terrorists फ्रेंचाइज, टेररिस्ट फाइनेंसिंग, सेफ हेवन तथा उनके स्पॉन्सर्स के विरुद्ध G20 देशों को एकजुट होकर सुदृढ़ तथा सशक्त कार्रवाई करनी होगी। राष्ट्रपति शी की अध्यक्षता में ब्रिक्स की गतिशीलता तथा पॉजिटिव मोमेंटम ने हमारे आपसी सहयोग को और भी गहरा किया है। अंत में मैं राष्ट्रपति श्री जिनपिंग को आने वाली 9वीं ब्रिक्स समिट के लिए बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं तथा भारत की तरफ से उनको मैं पूर्ण समर्थन देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
And since we are talking about GST, another closely watched meeting will of course be the sit-down between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Remember, this is the first time that the two will meet each other face-to-face. The Kremlin says that Putin and Trump have already exchanged a handshake and a few words ahead of their sit-down meeting at the G20 summit. And of course, all eyes are on how both leaders will present themselves from here on. Will Trump bring up the Russia's election meddling issue? And remember, the US intelligence claims that Russia meddled in the 2016 elections in an effort to get Trump elected, and political analysts expect the two to also discuss several vexing foreign policy issues, including the conflict in Syria and Russia's provocations in Ukraine. Alright, with that, we're completely out of time on this edition of News First. Many thanks for watching.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.